Howdy, my name is McKenna Gilmore, and today I will be talking about the homelessness issue in the United States. When I was in high school, I was very involved in a lot of organizations, like 10 plus organizations, to make me look good on my college application. The way we got involved in our community was donating food to the food drive, going to the women's shelter, or volunteering for something like a fun run. However, the one thing that all the organizations did was volunteer to feed the homeless on a Sunday afternoon. So, since I had so many hours to complete, I thought, why not? So I signed up. But I don't think I knew what I was getting myself into. So I showed up on time, I helped everybody unload their trucks, set up food, and I looked to my right and I noticed a couple ladies were folding shirts and getting shoes ready to hand out to the homeless. Right as the clock struck noon, so many people showed up. I was shocked at the number of people that showed up, and it could be anywhere from single adults to families to little children that were just left on their own. Living on my side of town, I never knew the extent of the homeless population in Corpus, which is why I want to share and explain why homelessness is such a prominent issue in the United States. Homelessness is a big issue in the U.S. due to the lack of available and affordable housing for susceptible individuals like single adults and people with severe health issues. The most prominent case of homelessness, however, is the large lack of housing in the United States. Temporary housing is becoming less and less available for low-income individuals. According to 2020 edition of the State of Homelessness website, over the past 5 years, transitional homes have decreased their capacity by 9%, which means they only hold 51% of all homeless people, leaving 49% of all homeless people just on the side of the road to fend for themselves. Since homelessness only affects largely a certain amount of people, there has been a high shortage of beds for single adults and children under 18. Especially since COVID-19 hit, there's been a large shortage of beds. There's been an estimated 400,000 bed demand to appropriately house all homeless people and provide social distancing. Even if one is lucky enough to find something in their price range, according to Fowler, 15% of all low-income renters live in units with severe physical problems, like malfunctioning plumbing or heating, and dilapidated public areas, which can have considerable health consequences. Most commonly, this is exposure to lead paint or pathogens from pests. According to the 2020 edition State of Homelessness, permanent housing has actually increased over the past 5 years by 20%, which is good, but we are failing in the sense that permanent housing is not very affordable for, let's say, a single adult who can't care for themselves. A good rule of thumb is that you should spend no more than 30% of your monthly income towards rent. However, a study reviewed by Freeman in America's Affordable Housing Crisis, a contract unfulfilled, in the American Journal of Public Health, showed that in 1989, that 17% of all renters in the U.S. paid more than 50% of their monthly income towards rent, which also increased to 20% in 1999, meaning people that are spending that much money on their rent are left with nothing for necessities. Necessities like food or medical expenses, which means those people are highly more susceptible to diseases like obesity or malnutrition. And since they have those disabilities, they are not able to find that health care because they don't have money for it. However, some issues are unrelated to housing altogether. Chronic homelessness is caused by mental and physical disabilities. Mental and physical disabilities are caused when, let's say, a single grown adult cannot take care of themselves and are living on their own and just struggling because they can't find a job. According to Solving Homelessness from a Complex Systems Perspective, Insights for Prevention Responses, in the Annual Review of Public Health, Fowler looks at statistics from a single night in January 2019. 96,141 people were chronically homeless, which makes up 24% of all homeless individuals. That is crazy. So 24% of all homeless individuals have been homeless the majority of their life. They're stuck on the side of the road, unable to get a job because they cannot support themselves. These people are often left by family members that have either passed away, and these people with disabilities can't take care of themselves. They can't find a job, so they are left to be homeless and often end up in shelters or safe havens. Hopefully, you learned a little bit about homelessness, and you can learn and further your knowledge by all the sites that I have said throughout this speech. They have plenty of statistics and studies where you can learn more about all of these statistics and what you can do to make change in your community. You can make change in your community by doing what I did and just showing up and making a difference in your community and going and helping and feeding the homeless because they definitely appreciate it. That is one thing that I remember is seeing the smiles on everybody's faces when they knew that just somebody cared about them. So go out and make a difference. That's my